Welcome, welcome, welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn, and I am a fired up Shawn. I have got comments to go through. We're going to get through those quickly so I can get to the items to showcase with you. It was great getting to just have a chit chat over items with our production director, Asif here, and always good to have a conversation when it has something to do with improving the value and the quality of a shot that appears in your home on your TV screen. And that doesn't happen by chance. Those wonderful views, the right colors, that takes years of talent, years of experience, and having the right equipment and keeping up with the right equipment, keeping up with the time. So today we are actually starting off here with just the auto camera, and the one a lot of you commented about the colors, and then we're going to have be joined by Latif here in a bit. So of course, Latif, one of the members of the family that fills in on camera and on the graphics that Asif does when others can't be here. So it's nice to have backups. All right, now, okay, so for those of you that might have joined or don't really familiar with everything, we do, this is the 244th podcast, and this show is a follow-up to 9 years of a live show here at Gem Shopping. Now, 24/7, you can call and order an item anytime. They'll be able to tell you if it's in stock or if it's been sold, and if it's in stock, you can order it 24/7. Just call the number that you see on your screen. Okay. Also, I answered a couple questions this week from our Peg, who we're familiar with here, because she asked and had read some of the How It's Done series of episodes, which if you haven't read those, make sure you go to the area where you can leave comments for me, and you'll see the tab that directs you to that. And you can also leave comments regarding those episodes there as well. So if you want to see other questions and answers regarding bench work, you'll find them there. And there's been some really interesting additional information that a lot of you may want to take a look at. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, I'm looking at a lot of goodies here. Let's get started. So first, we will go over the trivia questions that we had from last week's show and the answers. So a lot of you did really well. So the questions was, what is the name and country where the best labradorite is found in, and what is it called? So of course, Finland of all places, not too well, there's been a couple famous things. The that garnet that the Raven has made off with, the Uverivite garnet from Outokumpu, Finland, which is like the classic locality for that type of Uverivite. And she has it when I should be the one to have it. But, we don't talk about that. Everything's just, just fine. I think she pushed me down trying to get to the guy's stuff. It was a great story, and still is, even though she upped me on that one. Anyway, so Finland, it has amazing Uverivite garnets, by the way, and also, of course, the finest in labradorite, which is a black base, and they give it another name called spectralite. And I think pretty much you should just reserve spectralite for the finished material, because unless the Madagascar material is on a really black labradorite base, I don't think that there's a comparison. So when you have those colors, just like black opal, always more valuable on a darker color base. So 99.9% of the Madagascan labradorite I see is not that color base. So answer being Finland. And spectralite. Second question, what is the easiest or best way to tell Chalcopyrite from pyrite. And remember, well, I don't know, expect you to remember a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever time it was ago. I think I might have told you the story with chalcopyrite and pyrite, that all I'd have to do is show them to Raven, even from a distance, a foot, and I'd ask her, because oftentimes I wouldn't necessarily know on some of the material that was druzy or smaller, or maybe of a different habit, isometric habit form than what I normally will see pyrite in. So she was great. She'd get it every time. She'd get it correct, because then I'd have to verify it to make sure she was always right, and and she was always right. So and that's without having any knowledge about the crystal system in particular. She just knew from the look, and of course that's what it's all about. And so the question is, what is the easiest or best way to tell chalcopyrite from pyrite? And you could have answered it multiple different ways. Miss Gabby put crystal habit, and yeah, that's absolutely the correct way. And other people spelled it out as far as saying, well, pyrite forms in a cube, and then other people said that chalcopyrite, you look for triangles, and that is true as well. You're definitely not going to find in a tetrahedron that form in pyrite, and definitely a giveaway is if you can find a cube anywhere in the pyrite, then you have your answer there. Also, iridescence is a secondary thing you look for, because chalcopyrite, having the calco part in the formula, which is the copper part, with the iron and sulfide, is another metal that creates additional opportunity for oxidation, and in this case iridescence, to occur, which it does not occur so much in just the pyrite. When I was saying that just then, what came to my mind was the turgite, the incredible iridescent goethite and hematite specimen from Graves Mountain that you guys got from me, and that was a stunning piece for iridescence. So anyway, chalcopyrite and pyrite, it's pretty much the shape of the crystal is the easiest way to be able to tell. All right, so let's start off. We have, now this is from Harry from last week. He said, "Hey, Shawn, I've been way too busy all week knowing I need to email you back on a trivia. I want to change after I remember what you had mentioned during the show, and I'm changing the 1950s other than gold rush. I answered iron, and I need to change it to uranium. My bad." God bless Henry. Yep, you got that in too late there. Past about, let's see, when I pull them off the printer, it's about 7:30 on Thursday morning. So you have to get them in before then. And so you changing your mind was too late there, Harry. And I'm glad at least though it came to your memory that it was not iron that drove a rush. That kind of wouldn't do it. But for uranium and for the good of the country, to make those atomic bombs, that's what drove so many people all scattered across the West to finding so many bone deposits. Yeah, that's how a lot of these remote dinosaur bone deposits were discovered, because remember, fossils often will have a radiation signature. And we could get into the iridium layer that the Chicxulub meteor impact that wiped out the dinosaurs also scattered a thin layer across the whole globe. So it's a defining timeline from that event that paleontologists, archaeologists, everyone uses for dating. Specifically, they can tell from that point on either side of it the time. So Not only that, but due to a lot of locations like the shark's teeth in Florida, we talked about how they have a radiation signature, whereas the ones in South Carolina don't. So many, though, out west, many of the prehistoric finds will have some type of signature. So once that, your Geiger counter went above the nominal range, all of a sudden you stop and you start checking out the area, is how it happens. And then all of a sudden, oh, what's this? Part of a bone. And then, it leads to some phenomenal discovery. So, yeah, that helped. One helped the other. All right, Miss Gabby says, greetings and blessings, Rock Family. Professor Shawn, you knew I wouldn't be able to resist that selenite specimen. No, I thought that, Miss Gabby, and kind of targeted you on that. I thought, I know somebody that collects selenite. I wonder if she will notice this one. The clarity and shiny reflective surfaces on that specimen are amazing. Also loved the curved crystal, almost like it was going for a ram's horn formation. Yeah, the ram's horn formations are beautiful. They look somewhat like the Kongsberg silver specimens, which are incredible as well. But I think just a curved crystal is so unique like that, and still look so much like a crystal, that it's actually a better and more unusual look, because it is something that's found in some selenites, but that's it. Very few other minerals will ever curve like that. Crystals like to grow in straight lines, as you well know. So to have one that has those curves like that, that's a pretty neat addition, especially if you collect the Nicomine specimens, which that one, of course, has come from, has all those signatures of a Nicomine selenite, and the double termination on that. You know that I had collected selenite as well, because now you have my best selenite collection, so that's good to know. Also, love the crystal. Also got the lapis shark. My grandson has been admiring my lapis specimens lately, so I thought this would be perfect for him. The thing about that shark, why I actually cleaned it up and got it ready, was because it's Shark Week on TV, as most people will probably know, or maybe it's coming up. I know that Raven absolutely loves, Jaws is like her favorite movie, and she loves shark movies, so she has been in shark mode lately. But that one has been on my bench because it had a little nick off one of the fins. So I had to recarve the fins, one to match the other. Of course, you won't notice the difference until maybe since I told you. So other than that, if you wanted to, John, of course, being very handy with his tools, could polish the sides of that up more if you wanted to. But that's what I thought. I thought, especially that shark has a cartoonish look to it. As far as where the jaw is back set, it's kind of like the way they make sharks look on TV and cartoons. And so I think it'd be perfect for a grandson like that. Trivia, spectrolite from Finland, and answer, crystal habit. That is good enough. The pyrite specimen from last week just arrived. My newest favorite. Gonna go get my flashlights and magnifier out and play. Till next week, Miss Gabby. She got the big pyrite plate that had all those other stunning minerals to explore in it, and double-sided piece. Just a great piece for pyrite. Miss Cindy, hello, Rock Family. Thoroughly enjoyed the show this week, Shawn. You look healthy, happy this week. A good thing. Go Raven. Keep up the good work recovering. Trivia, spectrolite from Finland. Calcopyrite is triangular in the tetragonal form, while pyrite is cubic and isometric. Yep, that's correct. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Favorite specimen this week, the Brazilian manifestation quartz. That's kind of neat that you did that to add what your favorite specimen was of the week. That's good to know. That was a great specimen, especially it wasn't a lot of money. Mr. Anthony, if you didn't notice, Mr. Anthony, through my hair here, I have your wonderful owl piece that you had made me. Anthony, of course, silversmith and lapidary, and so he had Savorite eyes, my birthstone, so really nailed it. And the owl, of course, is my totem or spirit animal. So well done. Hello all, very groovy show. I like that language. I too love the platypus. Yeah, who doesn't? What a cool animal, you know, little part of every phylum. I too love the platypus. I got a bit greedy and scored the slab of labradorite. I say that because, as you know, I got the 2 slices offered previously. It was available, so I grabbed it. And of course, those 2 slabs had actually come from that triangular piece, is what he's referring to, that had the beautiful purple and orange on it. So he continues, I started cutting into the slabs, and the color continues right through, and yes, lots of purple. They are my first rough labradorite. Wow, well, you're starting off with some of the best. Way to go. I have sculptural, not for cutting, so I'm going to have me some fun cutting it. The country Finland is where spectrolite is found. Calco pyrite has a more complicated shape, not square or cube. Tetragonal, where pyrite is usually square or cube. Thanks for the feedback on the bowenite. I couldn't recall that name. Anyway, I carved a very simple piece, just need to polish it. I'll shoot a picture next time. That's the difference in bowenite, which is the name they give a very high quality of serpentine, basically. It looks very, very much jade-like, and it is okay in New Zealand. I spent several weeks there, and most of the time on the South Island where the nephrite is found, and greenstone. So when they say greenstone, if they sell you something that's serpentine, that's acceptable, because greenstone doesn't differentiate in their market between whether it's nephrite jade or whether it's a nice quality piece of serpentine or any other greenstone. So you have to consider that in mind. If it was represented as nephrite and is jade, then great. But if you have something and it's bowenite or serpentine or another green, just enjoy the piece for what it is, because they did not misrepresent it. In their culture, and going back, greenstone was anything that was green. They just happen to have a couple deposits of wonderful nephrite and other deposits of serpentine as well that looked very similar. The great thing you're going to find, of course, there, Mr. Anthony, is polishing the serpentine is so much easier and quicker. Of course, I like to use just a diamond compound on cotton wheels on a Dremel tool for in the delicate work and pieces. All right, we have Harry. Well, hi there again, Shawn and the Raven. I bet she is just about good to go and very much needed, and especially for her spectrolite black finish labradorite specimens. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Raven, segue to answer the first trivia question. LOL. And you are way more needed than for a rock specimen. LOL. Get back soon, please. We all love you, need you, and want you. God bless your every footstep forward through this recovery. And you cross my mind a few times a week thinking on how your recovery is coming along. Anyway, back to it here on my end. Still nothing in the mail yet on the kunzite, of which I am excited to start cutting, and the zoisite ruby specimen. Oh, yeah. I will talk to Kevin about that. And the parcel of turquoise, woohoo, thanks again. And like I said, it really cheered me up when I needed it the most. That is the magic of this show and items that people get. So I really enjoyed this week's specimens, but I got more stuff to do on paying my 2 bills with Mo money. Love these gem and rock tailgate sales events, are really helping. Anyway, I also got a kick out of having your hair back, having a cool down session. Yeah, you caught me, for those that watch that show, which I never put my hair up, and Raven tells me all the time, why don't you put your hair up, in public? And I usually always wear it down, but it was so hot, even here the other day, I had put it up, but it meant to take it down before I came back and said hi to you, and I forgot. So you got to see me in a rare moment with my hair up. I'm sure the lighting that blasts some strong heat and lumens, yes, that is the difference here behind the lights, big difference.
I enjoyed the explanation on the jade species and the differences. Oh, and I sent a follow-up email with a change in my trivia. I said iron in the 1950s Rush series to uranium, but it didn't get there in time. No, it didn't. Now, this week's trivia, I already answered the labradorite question 1, and in question 2, ask the telltale visual ways to tell the difference on the types of pyrite, as of which regular pyrite is the well-defined cubes, and Calco pyrite has a very erratic triangular-shaped crystal with uneven sides and faces of the crystal. I know, it can look very erratic, even though, they're supposed to be tetragonal and have some order to it. I have some Calco pyrite specimens that just look erratic, just like that. Well, I'm going out the door to work. God bless you all and be well. Much love and all good things, Harry. All right, we have Miss Elisa. Elisa, you're going to love today's show. Yes, the Axonite is complete, and I have set it aside for you. We'll talk more about that when I feature it. Miss Elisa, hello, Rockhounds, GSN crew, and Professor Shawn. I'm so glad that the lovely Raven is doing better and better. I know she'll be back soon. I'm so excited for when that happens. Congratulations, Miss Peggy. Wow, that was an awesome win. I couldn't help but be shocked to see such a unique prize, and my thoughts were how cool is that you, Shawn, are so generous with your prizes. I've been working on forming a small cabochon from one of the rough sapphires I got from you. I am hoping to make a pendant for my sister-in-law, who also shares a July birthday with me. Well, happy birthday to you both. I'm finally polishing in the polishing phase. Months ago, I found a milky white quartzite in my yard several months ago and carved it into a heart. That's neat to use something local like that. I'm thinking of carving out the center to about half the thickness of the quartzite, which would leave enough room for the slice of moonstone to be placed in, and then placing the sapphire on top of the moonstone slice. It would be layered, the sapphire on top of the moonstone and both inside the carved quartzite as a pendant. Do you think epoxy would be the best way to mount the moonstone and sapphire into this? Absolutely, epoxy would be the best thing. And use 2-part epoxy. Now, the longer the minutes type of epoxy, they have 1 minute, 5 minute, and 24 hour. The most common one I use, like for dopping, and you'll see your stone and other, is 5 minute. That gives me enough time if I have to hand hold a stone or something else in place for me to hold it long enough to set up. The 1 minute, it sets up too fast, and the difference is it is not as bonding in the end. They say it'll hold X number of tons. Well, it depends. Yeah, if you're sticking it to something that's not shiny or something that's very coarse, then it might form a strong bond. But other than that, the 1 minute is just too tacky. It's too soft. It's great for expansion and that type of thing, but not suggested. Now, if you can keep the items in place, the 24-hour is always the strongest bond. But in regards to your pendant, and really, since you're not doing it as a ring, the 5 minute might work just fine and give you a little bit more control if you have to hand hold something so it doesn't slip or move out of place. But overall, the 24-hour, when you have to, if you need to use that, that works really well and gives you the bonding strength. And when they say 24-hour, I usually like for it to go even longer to cure, more like 36 to 48 hours on that. Sounds like a really neat project. I wasn't fully aware that you were a lapidary and cut stone, so how exciting that is for you to do that project. My answer to this week's question, spectrolite from Finland, and the shape, pyrite is cubed or square, and calcopyrite is tetragonal like a calico cat. I like how she remembers the difference. They have 3 colors, black, white, and orange. Okay, so for pyrite, I just imagine gold miners finding pyrite and thinking, oh man, this ain't gold. What a square. And
that's exactly what I do in so many different ways, is make word associations with minerals and specimens, and it works wonderful, whatever it takes to remember the difference. So that sounds like a great way, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. Have a great week, everyone, and stay safe. Miss Ursula says, Shawn, hello, and thank you for presenting us with another amazing podcast. Just like last week, the item I was hoping to purchase was gone, and long gone. LOL. But I do take comfort that other viewers have similar wants and inclinations, as we can tell from all the notes you are sharing with us. Terrific. Yeah, one thing it does tell you is that someone else found the same value and desired it as much as you. Even if you missed the specimen, you know that it was a good value, and everybody always wants something that other people want. That's just a human condition, and I just wish I had, in the cases like that, more, so I didn't disappoint anyone. But you looked at it in a great way there, Miss Ursula. But I do take comfort that other viewers have similar wants and inclinations. Did you have to think too hard in order to recall that you can find the best labradorite? Oh, did not have to think too hard to recall that the best labradorite comes from Finland. Spectralite, she said, in Finland. The easiest way to differentiate chalcopyrite and pyrite is to observe the crystal structures. Where pyrite is isometric or equal-sided, the chalcopyrite is part of the tetragonal crystal system. I certainly liked your little trick on how to remember it. Another thunderstorm is rumbling over the house, and I better get busy packing the suitcase for an extended trip to meet up with family and friends. Be well, and many blessings to you, Miss Ursula, and our entire Rock County community. Sincerely, Miss Ursula. Miss Ursula, you live in Florida. Don't forget, don't get out there when the lightning's out there, striking around. But afterwards, you have a chance to find fulgurites. But up here in the red clay, I've looked. It doesn't happen. Miss Peggy from South Carolina. Hello, Raven, Shawn, Ossoff, Gem Crew, and all my favorite rock hounds. I hope all is well with everyone. I just got back from the doctors with a glowing report. It completely made my day. Then it makes all of ours as well, Miss Peggy. That's wonderful news. Yeah, even Ossoff gave you a woohoo. Then I got home and found my free item already on my porch, which made my day even better. I hope Raven is stronger and healthy. I miss her when she is not with you in the showroom. So do I. The commentary between you two is priceless. Is that what you call it? I think it's more like Shawn is the root of all her comedy. Some of it you don't hear behind the scenes. I can imagine she feels stuck in that house. I said to her that she needed to get out and come sit with me, and that if she was too tired, she could escape to, I have an office here, and hide out and, take a nap. She wouldn't be bothered or whatnot. So I'm trying to get her out, because she really has not left the house. She hasn't even driven. She hasn't done any of that. So I'm making her walk up and down the steps, though. And since I had the show, got up early, she did bring me dinner in bed last night. I do have to admit. So that was nice. But I considered it as cardio, going up and down the steps a couple of times. It was good for her. I'll wait to. Yeah, I was just going to say, I'll wait to see what kind of comments you get back. And Ossoff's cracking up back there. I didn't bring her any. No, it was. I didn't make her work too hard for dinner, though. Hot dogs was all she had to make. So, but then I fell asleep. I had terrible chronic fatigue syndrome, which hit me, which was weird because I hadn't felt that in a while. So I woke up at 10 o'clock and had a hankering, is what we call it down here in the South. I woke up with a hankering for some ice cream. So I texted her downstairs, and yes, she brought me ice cream in bed after that. So, but hey, I'm here. She's not. She's at home, and I'm doing the work. So that's the way. This a little bit. I just exercise my maleness just a little once in a while, and I figured I could get away with it.
Osip said he can't even get his kids to do that. And he's got a passel of them, like 3. And they're of the age that they can make it up and down the steps plenty easily. They certainly could if it was for their own ice cream, I have no doubt.
Well, they send me for that too.
He said they send him for their ice cream too. He's got an adorable family that he just absolutely loves. I don't blame him. My son now, I don't know. I had to tell my son the other day that the higher in rank you're becoming, the more people saluting you. That
You're still my son.
Exactly. That's what I say. Who was it? It was, I think Bill Cosby said it best. I brought you into this world and I can take you out. And I'll never forget that because I was alive when he actually said that comment and remembered it. At the time, I wasn't a father, but since then, yeah, it's one of those comments you don't forget because you want to use it on your child when they start becoming a little insolent, and which he did. It was over some of our hoarding, okay? So he goes in the house and he just thinks us having all these rocks everywhere, and he called us hoarders for that. That's not hoarding. That is where I decided to put my investment all these years was in my rocks and minerals. And that now it's my legacy, because you know what? On all those ones that were my true personal specimens, and I'm not talking inventory specimens, I'm talking true, which is most of what I'm selling now. On that label that you're getting, you see where it says Shawn's collection or whatever type item it makes, Shawn's rare crystal, Shawn's. And that's my legacy, because you'll have that label, and years from now, and you'll remember that Shawn guy, and you're going to get special vibes coming off that crystal or mineral specimen, and and you'll feel the vibes. You will, because I sold them with love. They were entered with love. That's what Osip's doing right now. The items you're going to see today, I hear him clicking away. He's actually physically entering them. So he's reading everything before you get to even see it and typing them in. And that's how personal this show actually is. There's lots of love that goes into it. And that's actually what Osip and I were talking about regarding gem shopping. We've been here a long time. He's been here from really the beginning. And it's one of those places that for us long timers, which I'm one of, and the group's getting smaller and smaller as time goes on. But we love gem shopping. We love the people. Yeah, we are gem. That's a great way to put it. We are gem shopping. Those that have been here the length of time. I have like 14 years. Osip's 17, 18 years. 21 years. I shortchanged him. How dare I? And that's how I remembered it. Probably how quickly more years have been at it. 21 years he's been here. Wow. And so that's the kind of quality and you get that's behind this show. And we can't say that about all the other shows. Compared to the years when Dave or Latif, he's been here.
He's 20.
Yeah, as 20 years, just right behind Osip, 20 years. So I have the best of the best on this show, and I think that is great. We are gem shopping. We are what's known around here as the family, the core, the group, and it's nice to be around them. They generate a positive sense of energy, and all that transfers back right into your rock and mineral because they do. There is natural properties of rocks and minerals that will allow them to actually absorb energy. Piezoelectric, pyroelectric, triboluminescence. There's so many other things that we don't know. Our arms, our bones, all that is a hydroxyapatite. They're apatite, chemically, exactly apatite. So we are made of what we love. And if I squeeze my arm, it will generate electricity because apatite is piezoelectric. See, all the stuff you're learning?
Okay, so Miss Peggy goes on to say, looking at my Florida rock collection, I think I still need a Florida megalodon tooth. I'm afraid to buy one online because all you taught us about fakes. Maybe you might have some left in your collection? Trivia, Finland spectrolite, square, cube versus freeform shapes. I opt out of this week's drawing. Can't wait to see you again. So, very good on that. And the megalodon teeth, I know, I used to sell a lot of those, but I also showed people how a lot of the corners are often broken off on them, and they're often reconstructed, and they are done so well. I'm going to show my Galena geode soon, just so to show you the effort that is taken on a $3 item to fool someone, and you'll be just amazed. You'll be amazed at the time and effort taken. So yes, that is something that they do. They rebuild those corners, especially on the big ones, because more of them are broken than they're not. And so you look at that big tooth, you know, wow, this could be worth, 20 times its value, 30 times its value if it had the corner on it. And so that's the driving thing. Miss Barbara says, hi, Professor Shawn, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Just a quick note from my phone. Great show. Nice to hear Raven is doing better. So happy to have grabbed the ruby, zoisite, pargasite. My third is the best. That's great. Well, see, that's just it. The stuff is getting cooler and better because as we get deeper into the collection. So trivia, spectrolite from Finland, cubes, square faces are pyrite, triangles, non-squares are chalcopyrite. Be safe, be well, Barbara from, of course, Brooklyn. All right, that's it. We drew names, and of course the magic could only occur right here as it does. The winner being Miss Gabby, whose one of her homes is from Georgia. And the item she has won this week is from Georgia as well. And it is from Fannin County, Georgia. And right now, that will tell you Miss Gabby knows exactly what it is then. It is a large starlight crystal. Now, this is the crystal. Sorry, it couldn't have been a twinned crystal this big. Then I don't know if I would have given it away. But it is one of the largest starlight crystals I have found. And you can see with this micaceous covering on it like that, that's one of the tales that it's a more of a Georgian starlight, because they are found in that way often. And there's actually, it looks like maybe even some little garnets in the mica schist part of it. Classic starlight shape. Fannin County, Georgia. It is, the very desired mineral that creates fairy crosses when they're twinned. And but this would be a huge one if it was twinned. It's a large crystal starlight nonetheless, and from Georgia. How perfect for a fellow Georgian there. 92 grams, a big gram weight. All right, I'm going to tuck that away. We'll be right back with the show. All right, I have a couple sale price items I'm going to lead off with, and this unique pair of bookends is one of them. Of course, this is silica stone, natural fossil stone. And the thing about this pair of bookends is you can see that it has the goniotites, which is the earlier form of, by way of classification, of the ammonite family. Still a cephalopod, though, and still had its little tentacles that grew out through that way there. Then the other Orthoceras that you see here, and these animals would have all died at the same time, and the fossilization taking place at one time. Like, let's say if there's a school of them together, which they both are cephalopods and often would have traveled together, and an explosion of a volcano, hot ash comes down, you have a pyroclastic flow or something like that, and where it covers the animals instantly with ash, the oxidation phase can't begin, and instead a fossilization phase can. And what you wind up with is thick layers of natural stone. Now, there's two types. There's a calcic type of matrix, and like at Fernbank Museum, they have those, and the fossils are much smaller, but it's still a type of fossil stone. But it is also affected by acids much more so than this type of stone. Now, the neat thing with this pair of bookends is it showcases this one and this, and instead of, and then so when you turn it around, you have a completely different look with another really well-formed goniotyte on this side, and then the natural orthocerises over here as well. And it's just nice. The entire thing is stone. If you cut through this, you would find additional pieces of natural fossil. And this is sale price to help out with the shipping on these. I think it's like the last pair I have, and I am offering those for only $18. Only $18 for that pair. Now, the next item I have is 1050622. And this is from my Made in America collection. And look at this. This is incredible. It is beautiful, beautiful prehnite. And we often don't think that we could have zeolites here, but absolutely. There are wonderful quarries in New Jersey and Connecticut that have zeolites on some of the finest of them, including prehnites. And you can see just that wonderful, wonderful reflection of the crystals in this piece. And you can see the thick basalt matrix on this that is different than the basalt that you find, which is darker usually in the Mumbai Indian quarries. Look at underneath this ledge here is the part that looks really interesting to me. These, of course, are prehnite formations, and then you get this incredible circular formations of prehnite that are very typical of this material. Wow. Well, look at that. That's a great shot. I'm looking at another preview shot, and really shows you the detail. There you have it. That's what I was looking at. It's like, wow.
Well, I think you have it confused. That was on program.
Ah.
It switched, so I'll switch it up.
Okay. You guys are messing. Oh, I see now. Okay. So you can see incredible formation there, and then also you have the other prehnite. Look at all the crystallization on there. And you know, by way of quality, prehnite always cuts a kind of a hazy type of stone, kind of like rose quartz. So cutting quality, those I'm sure would cab nicely. And you know, just to have something from the United States in a zeolite like this, in a prehnite, I have a great opportunity on this piece. I'm just really looking at that underneath there. That is really, really fascinating. And we're going to sale price this one as well. And I'm talking about a big time sale price of, how would you like it, for only $28. $28 on that. Okay, I know Miss Elisa must be going crazy since I mentioned her stone I have. Let me tuck these away, and I believe we're going to feature an Axonite. All right, not to disappoint, Miss Elisa, because I know you had been on pins and needles through my other presentations. Just to show you, look at this. I have your name already on the dop stick. It is a finished gem of over 5 carat. Now, to explain to everybody else what you're going to get ready to see next is the stone, and it was had really been promised to Elisa back in the early stages when I was cutting it, and she said she had been interested in it. So I am going to set this aside, Miss Elisa, and have customer service call you or reach out to you and with the item number. If you're interested in the stone, fine. If not, then I am sure, I know Brad was interested in it, and others may be as well. So, but I'll be able to send you this picture if you get it, because I thought it made for a great shot, because it's on a polishing lap right now, and that's called the Dop Stick. Your name is on it. Let's show you the real thing on the turntable now. Look at this, and we were already playing with the plechoic nature of Axonite, and you can see that this is a 5-carat stone. Look at the purple colors to it. And the amazing thing about Axonite is the fact that it is one of the most plechoic stones there is, and the lucite being one of the other ones. Look at the purple in that. Look at the purple. This is stunning, because these will go, the really good high quality ones will go from purple to green to yellowish to orange. Look at the purple on that, to reddish colors. Now, it's very common, almost like an emerald. It actually is almost always included to some extent. So inclusions are something that you just accept in it. Look at that purple color tone. That is the money color for Axonite. Axonite is actually a group. It's a group of 3 different types of Axonite. There is the magnesio Axonite, of course, with magnesium. There is the ferro Axonite, which is the most common one. That's as far as the ones that you see that have the purple in it are most often the ferro Axonites, and what I feel like this one is. The others are the mangan Axonites, and those are the ones with manganese. So they substitute out, giving you 3 different families of Axonite. In general, it is, let's say this one is a ferro Axonite, so this would be a calcium, ferric, aluminum, boron silicate. So this is a rare mineral with boron in it. A stone over 3 carats is very rare. Over 5 carats, especially rare. Look at the purple as the angle changes at the bottom of this stone. Look at the color at the top. I have never showcased an Axonite. I gave that fun one away the other day, and but that was a small stone. This is huge in the world of Axonites, and I custom cut it from start to finish, as you saw. Look at the orange colors to that. And you also will see a different layout of the facets. Now, as you can see this, as the angles change, look at the purple and the red. Look at the colors going right through those, the mains on that. You can actually see a green color tone as well, which is very valuable when they have the color green. So this really has all the desirable colors in Axonite. It has the greens, the purples, look at that, and the yellows, the reds, and the oranges. If you look at it from the top, you have the classic, it looks like a smoky quartz type of look, and that is your classic base color to this stone. And look at how wonderfully long it is. I was able to really disguise the inclusions very well. They're just veil inclusions in it, and I was able to hide them properly, as a good cutter should be able to work with and try to do in cases of stones with that have and tend to have inclusions. And this is everything you would want in an Axonite. And its origin is really one of the most desirable origins. Pakistan producing some of the finest quality in Axonite material. And if you were able to get that item number off of there, Elisa, when it was up, that's great. You can just use that item number. I will set that aside to make sure no one else is able to get it with Kevin. So we have a inventory control person that will make sure that it will only go to you if it's what you want. So actually, go ahead and Asif and put that item number up. It'll make it easier for her to get the item, and I'll just make sure that that Kevin only make sure it only goes to Elisa. Yeah. Yeah. Look, okay, so Miss Elisa, use that item number. I am going to make sure that Kevin reserves the sale. Look at this. So this straight on, here is what is so cool and important. Look at that. There is no window to this stone. So when you look at it straight on, you see both. What you're seeing are the main facets cut to the proper angle that reflect back at the same time, giving you no window, or where you can see through the middle of the stone. And that's what you want to see with a properly cut gem, using the correct angles on the crown and the pavilion, so that the light bounces around and is reflected back out through the top. Now, this is a stone that with a nice thick girdle. You can see the part around the edge that will help. Look at the purple color. If you ever want to set it or mount it, it's better to have it thicker than thin. And wow, I'm just loving this stone. It was look at all the colors at the different angles. And a story Miss Elisa had mentioned before, she was asking dealers at a gem show, and she ran into so many of them that had never even heard of Axonite as a gem in general. And so when she watched this show, she couldn't believe that not only did was I familiar with Axonite, but we actually had some rough, the beautiful crystals. Remember, it's named Axonite. Look at that purple. Look at that purple right there. Because of the crystals are knife-edged like an axe, really sharply, very sharp angles to the crystal, and very much like an axe head to the shape as well. And that is actually where and how it has, its name is derived from. And so maybe you were one that was able to get one of those specimens that I actually had of Axonite. It would go great with this stone. So when you're going from the green, look at the purple, and it actually goes into the purple shades. That is extremely desirable. And when you see, and all the other colors, this has everything you want in your Axonite. And it even has a price that is affordable, because I cut it and I just wanted to make sure it was affordable for you. So I am going to offer this. I don't even know what it comes out to a price. Yeah, we'll put the price up so everyone can realize a value of it, and so she knows. And only $428. $428. That is a 5 point. So what is that? 80? Yeah, just about 80. That sounds awful cheap. $80 a carat. Wow, that is an incredible value. Stones over 5 carats, extremely, extremely rare, especially ones this clean. And look at that. To have all the colors that you want. Go ahead and grab it right now, Miss Elisa, if you want. I'll make sure that just Kevin sets it aside for you. That stone, it's going to be the last time I'm seeing it, so I'm just enjoying looking at it. It's was a marvel that I took the time to cut it from rough that I had. As you saw the bottom portion, the top portion cut, and then you saw how I transferred it on the dop, and then went ahead and cut the bottom portion to have that purple, and to have then going into the greenish colors, then having the orange colors, and into the reds. It has every color that you want in Axonite. Plus, it has no window, and if you wipe it down with a proper towel, there's no smudges. Those are just smudges on the surface. They are not scratches or anything else. A great, great opportunity. And with that, I have to say goodbye to it because I have a lot of other goodies to get to. Now, I am working on another one, Brad, so if you're interested, I will set that one aside for you. I think you saw a preview of it. It looked like it was going to be like a shield cut type of rough is the way it was laying out. The stone talks to me as far as the shape goes, and this one told me it wanted to be a pear shape, and I am not disappointed at all. I was thrilled with the way the angles came out and with the brilliance that it had, especially with the refractive index that it does have. And remember, this is a hard enough stone, 6.5 to a 7, so but it is considered extremely rare in the industry, and seldom ever used in jewelry because it's just not that familiar of a stone. More people are familiar with color change diaspore. There's a lot more of that material than there is this material, and there's even more Andalusite. You know, talking about playchroic versus stones like color change diaspore changes its color due to changes in the wavelength of light. This is a stone in line with Andalusite that changes its color due to the direction of the crystal. And Andalusite, a great gem, but there's more Andalusite in the world market, way more than there is Axonite. This is a truly rare gem, as you knew that. So hopefully maybe you'll wind up with it if you are interested in that, and if not, I am sure there'll be another viewer that will want it, but we'll let you have the 2 or 3 days here to take advantage of this one. All right, now I am going to put that up safely, so let me tuck that one away right now, and I'll be right back. Look at this. Now, this is something I have set aside. Well, I've actually been using it for a good number of years, but I have set it aside for anybody else that really appreciates and wants a really, really neat display slice, or, you know, something to, well, let me show you. Here's the thickness. Imagine using this to display another specimen on top of, because you know why? What do you see? What do you see? That is kyanite. The rest, you can see blue kyanite throughout. The rest is an incredible fuchsite, which is a chromium-bearing muscovite mica. So you have green fuchsite, some really nice high-quality fuchsite, you know, transparent material here. Scattered amongst our blue kyanite crystals. Look at these. You can see how beautiful blue this is. And then you have openings with little crystals down in there. And look at that. Now, I have a feeling that this came in a state, but what I think this was a piece. Imagine this as your countertop or your backsplash. I think this was actually someone's backsplash, and this was a piece of the material that didn't, you know, match up for quality. I don't know. I just say that only because due to the thickness and due to the odd shape of it and the way they cut it. So yes, I have seen in people in the industry have everything from nephrite jade backsplashes and countertops to incredible labradorite. Oh, amazing. So this could be, I'm saying something along the lines and of having been used for that. But what would we and I used it for? Of course, look at this side. This side is really nice. I'll catch the light on this side. Either one for another mineral or specimen to sit on. Beautiful, beautiful material. And price on this, it's really, really unique as a mineral specimen. You can see that it's a mica origin piece by the reflections coming out and away from it. And then, of course, the kyanite, quite evident. Price on this, only $38. Only $38, and, you know, look at it as a really, really unusual specimen for displaying another specimen. Now, wait till you see this next piece. This has been on our credenza right across from our bed for a number of years. Item number 1070822. Check this out. Look at this. Okay, so this is the front side of it. This is, of course, Brazilian agate. This, though, isn't really the display side, even though it could be. Look at how lucky the cutter, and I've shown you that before on geodes, how lucky I have gotten. Look at that. Just caught the edge of this is agate. It's not calcite, it's agate, but there is some chalcedony in here because when I put the ultraviolet light to it, there's some beautiful chartreuse that lights up in here. What the showpiece is on this one is through this. And let me show you. See this? This is the outside. How many of us would step over that thinking it was just another rock? Here is what I want to show you and the intent of it. All right. Look at the color. Look at the color in this. What you thought what might have been a carnelian color, no. It is an amazing bluish color frame. And what you're looking at, and this is how you tell genuine agate or chalcedony. Let's look at the botryoidal formations. And you can see those bubbles. See those little orbs? There we go. There we go. Those are what you look for to know that you have a piece of genuine agate or genuine chalcedony when you see the botryoidal formations like that. Now, other pieces may or may not have these and still be genuine, but when you see that, that is something that they cannot man make. So it is a certain way to be able to tell that you have something genuine. That's why I always carry a flashlight. I use it for so many different uses. And I've showed you this before in chalcedonies and in chrysoprase, how to look for that for a determination. Thank you, sir. Now, I am going to take the light this way, and we're going to look into it this way. And you're going to be able to see that there is physically the rounded orbs here. And as I move the light perfect away, look at the little additional formations that have formed on top of the botryoidal formation. So you have, and I'm not sure if those are going to be little calcite orbs or if they're little chalcedony formations that have formed on top of the agate. But you can see there they are, and they stand out really kind of cool, like from another earth. It really does. Thank you, sir. That'll work. So this piece, you could imagine how cool you could make it into a nightlight. You could use this for the light and just run the light right into here, and you light this up, boom, instant night light. And you can just use one of those regular 7-watt bulbs that they use for night lights and get, they're just the really inexpensive cords with a night light at the end. A few dollars, and there's plenty of room. It'll fit right in there, and wow, and I think that must have been the intent. This piece actually came in an estate of other rocks, and I told you how at our buying office, everyone would send us from other jewelry stores. They knew that we had a rock nut, me, and that someone would actually pay them value for their rocks versus a pawn shop or somewhere else that would not give them anything or not even make offers. So, you know, I at least could make offers on these items that no one else was willing to because I knew what they were, and they were happy, and now you're getting the benefit as the item is passed down because it is only $58. Only $58. And that, for the uniqueness of it, I had never seen one where it was intentionally not polished on the saw face of it, but polished in an odd place like that. But now it makes sense. Now I've seen that done when an item is in an hydro. It'll have a water bubble in the agate, and I've seen that done so you can view the water bubble moving around. But that one is not one of those. Okay, now let me show you. Next, I have item number 107-2022. And this one, this was from some early material we had gotten, and I had found it, and it was labeled Ravens. You know, her birthstone is aquamarine, but since then, I think she has upgraded on a few other pieces that she has gotten instead. So I thought, well, it's probably okay to sell this now. Look at this piece. Now this is an item that's been etched. In other words, the crystal grew, and then something came along and dissolved some of it away. And if you look right down in the middle of that, you can see some material that could actually take a toothpick or something fine and clean that out a little bit. I think it actually would, you can see the material there, come out of there if you wanted it to. Now, it's tough to look there when you see this. Look how gemmy this is. This would easily facet a stone in there if you were so inclined. Plus, you can still see it has some of its greenish color tint to it. So telling you that it's a natural color and it is of a piece that has not been heat treated. If I heat treated it, I could make all that green go away and it'd be a lovely blue, but then it would be heat treated. And I'm kind of a purist when it comes to that. Here's what you're going to love. That size aqua crystal, that kind of clarity. No way could you ever find it anywhere, any place for only $58. $58 on that. It's a big look. Look at that. Look at that in my hand. That is a big crystal. Big crystal. And I love it when they sit up naturally like that and display themselves so very proudly indeed. Now, today's show, it's a little bit of a mix of everything, so you know you're going to get all kinds of. Oh yeah, price $58 on that one. $58. Now, let me show you item number 107-2122. 107-2122. Now, this, you get some gemstones here. Gemstones, yep, some cabochon gemstones. And let's look at these a little closer after we look at it. Look at that. Look at that. So when you see that, you know that's a cat's eye. Look at that cat's eye. And then the one turned on its side, well, there you go. You can see the eye on the side. And when you just say cat's eye, if someone says, I have a cat's eye, it is proper to assume that it is automatically a chrysoberyl. Any other cat's eye, you have to say cat's eye apatite, cat's eye tourmaline. But when it's a real deal in the chrysoberyl family, you just have to say cat's eye because that is the name given originally to chrysoberyl. And it has also really the best eye that looks like a cat's eye. Now, you've also seen chrysoberyl in other faceted forms, some incredible neon colors coming out of Tanzania. This smaller one right here, the milk and honey colors, this is the money shot. These are really old stones, and they've been native cut. In other words, you can see they were cut, not aligned, some of them properly. But you know, it's nice to know that they are Ceylon material, which is really a very desirable origin. Here is, look at that. That's still just a beautiful stone. Milk and honey color. That's the money color right there in that small one. And here, let me chase down this other one. Still a nice stone. And look at the translucency, transparency to that, with a really fine white eye as well to that stone. 3 cabochons. Very desirable origin. Price on all 3, $28. $28, that's less than $12 a carat. Yep. And no, we won't be offering any others like that at that kind of price. That was just some that I had sold off some of the others from the parcel over the years. I actually used some in some jewelry I made many years ago as well. And you're getting that kind of deal just because they're kind of a tail end of the deal left over. But the neat thing is in this particular parcel, to be able to get the milk and honey color, to have one of the really desirable colors like that. Always nice to have some of the best. Okay, next, item 1063522. 1063522. This one is a sale price item. A sale price from what is already was a sale price. So let me just kind of move those to the side, put those out. Look at this. Here is a batch of topaz and runaway topaz here. Oops. Look at that. Leave it to be the only one. Look at this. Cabochon. The only, and trying to turn it over. And look, oh, actually there's a pair. There's another cabochon. Look at how pretty those colors are. So here, we'll just give you a quick glimpse of the colors here. All right, so imagine the time it takes. Latif knows, he's a gem cutter, and used to cut a lot more than he does now, but I know he would if, look at the colors to that. Look at that. All right, so you have a couple of cabs, which is hard to find, but they're also preforms if you want to practice cutting topaz. There is a pair of pear shapes, I believe, from what I remember. Yep, 2 pear shapes that match, and then a couple of cuts. All that time already spent, and they are sale priced, ready, set at okay. Well, they have to sell at the price of $12. $12 for all of them. I know, I know, Latif. Imagine the time it would take for us to cut all of those. The $12, even just to preform the rough to get it down to the cutting size, the time it would take. But I actually would not be able to buy those, even to restock them, even in my market at the level.
Yeah, that's sold. I got it. Sold.
Sold. Those are sold. That's just the way we do it around here. Good deal. All right, next item is something you have not seen in a while. 1071822. 1071822. Check this out. This is one of the most valuable forms there is of malachite. And you can see why. Look at this. It's called Fibrous Malachite. And what a great name. This reminds me of those micro, what they call micro suede sofas or micro velvet. You know what I'm talking about? Where you if you sat down, you could always see where someone sat because, well, I'll leave it up to you imagining why you could see that. But, you know, it's the kind of, you brushed it one way, it looked one color, and brushed it back another way. Look at it. It looks just like that. Here is what is so nice. This piece is fibrous and crystalline in every direction. In other words, I can't see where this would have been attached to another piece. So we call those floaters like that. In other words, they like, you know, it floated freely in its formation, it seems. Maybe there was somewhere, I can't really see offhand, a connection point. So that's kind of neat. What that does is it leaves the specimen able to be viewed from every side. And look at how the color changes. Dark to lighter, fibrous malachite. One of the most valuable forms there is, and it's heavy. Malachite is a copper carbonate, and it's found in the Congo. Now, if I said the DRC, which oftentimes is referred to, or used the long word taking up a lot of space of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, that's its official name. But it's really much better understood at just to say the Congo, and which was originally, of course, the Belgian Congo, owned the largest land mass owned by any one single person. It was the King of Belgium. And if you ever actually watched the Tarzan movie, that was actually, a lot of that actually was true of what the King of Belgium ideas he had was for being able to take all the valuables from the country, including diamonds and gold and copper reserves. Huge. Congo was a gigantic, and still is a gigantic country, full of vast mineral wealth. And one of them is copper and malachite. Look at that. This sits in so many different positions. I love this piece. It is only, and I have it sale price, by the way, $88. Only $88 on that. And again, is the fibrous malachite being one of the most valuable forms of it. All right, let me tuck that one away. I'll be right back. Check this out. This is from probably really in the wolfenite world, one of the finest places you could ever have your wolfenite from. And that would be Arizona. And in Arizona, that would be the Red Cloud Mine. And the Red Cloud Mine, the wolfenites often are discernible. They'll have beveled edges to the crystals is one of the tells. Now these are really thin crystals. The tell here is the color and the fact that there is calcite with these. Now, let me show you. Here's something I am going to tell you that you could do at home, but you have to know a lot about, well, a little about chemistry and more about safety. Because if you can see the calcite, if you look at it closely, it has a melted look, doesn't it? It's not crystalline. It has a rounded form to it. Well, and you see that the wolfenites have calcite growing up on them, or so it appears. Actually, it's not growing up, it's being dissolved away. This was put, and I'm assuming just by the look of it, and because I've done many others like this, I did not do this one, but I've done other specimens where dissolving of the calcite is a method very similar to how they recover those extremely fine gold crystal wires and silver wires. Well, it's because a lot of them were encased in quartz or calcite, but those encased in quartz, remember we talked about, stay away. That takes hydrofluoric acid, extremely dangerous. That's the acid that a drop will just keep eating through you, and the full floor below you after you left a hole in your arm, and on and on. Yeah, so, but calcite is easily dissolved, even in very slowly, but in something as low of acidity as vinegar or lemon juice, those kind of things. That's why calcite based fossils, or those cups that you can buy in Mexico that are the banded calcite, yet say onyx, the calcite onyx. First time you put wine in them, not only does the polish come off, but it also stains them, and you have gotten your day's worth of calcium dissolved in your wine. Also, if you put orange juice in them, anything even citric, yeah, you'll be disappointed. You can get them in the set of 6 goblets. I have been in Mexico, lived in Mexico, been all over Mexico, and have seen them so many different places. And every time I see them being sold as the goblets, I'm thinking, yeah, they only look good, don't ever use them. But there is proper fossil ones. It's like the black fossils I showed you, those silica-based fossils. Those, we'll take it. Okay, so back to the calcite. These are encased in calcite. And so at some point, as you're dissolving the calcite away from the wolfenite, you have to stop, because it's the calcite that's holding a lot of the crystals in place. So at some point, you stop. Now, here on the back, you can also see it dissolving away, and you are left with some wolfenites on the back and some other mineralization there as well. So it does protect them. As you can see, look at the beautiful color. So here's wolfenite. Beautiful specimen of wolfenite. Opportunity on it, $38. Only $38 from the Red Cloud Mine. It's a nice size piece as well for the money. Now, let me show you next. I have, this is a real beauty for those like Brad that love fluorescent minerals. Let me show you this jewel. Look at this piece. Oh, incredible calcite, for one thing, all right? Incredible calcite and pyrite. But the pyrite is what we're looking at now. And the pyrite, how do we know pyrite from chalcopyrite? Well, you only have to find a cube, or basically a right angle somewhere. Now, these are neat pyrites because you actually have additional growth on top of the crystal in a layered, mottled type of formation you see there. And then you can see right angles in many of the other crystals that are not present in chalcopyrite. All right, so that's our pyrite. Now, look, here's the real side I wanted to show you. That is hematite that you're seeing. Look at that. Look at the little squares there. That is hematite. So as we come away from the specimen, this is what's neat. This has a beautiful rim of pyrite all the way around it. And a hematite center, look at that. That is just really aesthetically attractive to me. I really like it. Now, there's some other additional metals here, minerals, and there's some silver ones. So I'm thinking that there's hematite, not only the red variety, but the silver variety as well. But I'm leaving that up to whoever gets this to explore it a little bit more. I am looking, oh, look at that. He was, Latif was already checking out the same area. These actually look somewhat crystalline and quite unusual, but fluorescence. This is stunning. Now, you have tiny little pyrite formations on these crystals, but talk about orange fluorescence. This will glow some of the most beautiful color orange, and a wonderful, wonderful specimen. And it's not a lot of money for the bang for the buck on this. It's a big look, not only for the pyrite, but I love the look around there as well. And then you have that entire face that you don't even see that's fluorescent calcite. So let's see, display side, kind of a combination of something like that would be kind of cool. Here we go. I have this this one on sale, even though I've never shown it before. $38. $38. Never shown before, but only $38. Either beautiful pyrite look or beautiful fluorescent look. A really great piece. Now, let me show you one that segues perfectly into this next item. 107 1222. 107 1222. And now, okay, if you're going to talk fluorescence, then this one I have to show you at the same time, because obviously you can see that I have wrapped it up well by how long it's taken me to show you. Okay.
107122?
Let's see. I said 110. Yeah, you're right. 1071 222. Yeah. Now, here's the two side by side for a moment so you can see the two. All right, so we're going to take this one away, and now we're going to focus in on this one. And boy, is it one to talk about. And let me make sure I don't mix those up. Okay, look at that. That is beautiful to me. That is, wow, look at that. Okay, so those are all incredible little pyrite crystals. Look at the calcite crystals. And this piece, look at way down in there even. And as we come around, this just keeps showing off its colors. And there is so many minerals on this one. I need to get my pointer so I can show them to you once, and then you'll have to learn them from here. All right, so there is quartz involved, but there's also fluorite. And let me show you the fluorite so you know what to look for. All right, there's also quartz. So, but all right, we test the hardness. I can tell by the surface of that. That is a quartz crystal. Look at that quartz crystal right there. How cool is that? You have calcite bands through here. And now let's turn this around and come over here. And this has all kinds of little pockets to look down into. You have additional quartz crystals there. And as we come away from the specimen a little bit, you'll be able to see exactly all the little formations that magnification and a light, and you will have the time of your life exploring in these pockets. And there's just crystals everywhere, and there's banding, look at this, of different metals. So, all right, I said I was going to show you the fluorites. Here we go. I'm trying to remember exactly this right here. This is a fluorite, and I know because it it glowed purple. I was trying to put glowed and purple together. Yeah, so there was these incredible places of purple, yet there was no visible signs of fluorite because the fluorite that I found was all white crystals. So they blended in really well. And I say again, the best way to find them is with a black light and ultraviolet light, because the orange is overwhelming in this piece. This is like, it's like a grotto. Look at this. The way this sits up on its own like this is a wonderful way to present this specimen. There is like a grotto down there, and under ultraviolet light, this entire thing just is such an intense orange in all the white areas, which is calcite. And then you have these places of purple, which is the fluorite, that are multiple crystals scattered throughout. And then you have quartz as well. And then look at, like, even on the underside of this. Look at that. This is so attractive. I have an excellent price on this. This is the first time I have shown this piece. It's only $44. $44. Oh, let's see, right here. Oh, look at this one. Now, it's trying to hide itself, but that is a fluorite right there. And you can see the angle of the pyrite growing around it. And there is probably 6 or 7 fluorites, and they just really are best found by the UV light. The bottom of this is, well, I don't know which is the bottom or which is the top, because there's just so much crystallization everywhere. And right over here is, here's the other spot I want to show you. See that triangle shape? There's a fluorite, and right here, this is a fluorite. So they're difficult to spot, but not with ultraviolet light. They'll stand right out. The orange is what is really overwhelming and the best buy for the money. But I don't know. The pyrite itself, look at that. Look at that. Is pretty attractive also. So an excellent value there. Don't miss out. Now, I have something that I think a lot of you, if all of these sell out, then I do probably have a couple more I can fill. So you just have to let me know. Because right now there's a quantity of 4. This is item number 1070722. 1070722. So I have a quantity of 4 of these, and what they are shark teeth. They are, many are the mackerel shark. They're 70 million years old. So remember, the dinosaurs, from the impact of the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, happened 65 to 66 million years ago. These are 70 million years ago. So these are just in the world of time, geologically. This happened a fraction of a moment, even though it was 4 million years, but fraction of a moment really before the extinction of the dinosaurs and of the mackerel sharks, in many cases a lot of the sea life as well. So what I have is I bagged them up, and they're all, of course, you know, one's identical to the other. I just grabbed them in the bag, and here we have 50 grams. Well, they were actually came out to 55, but in case there was some broken, which there is, or pieces or whatever, I just allowed extras. And all of them are the same, basically, and I'll just randomly grab one here. And look at these. Look at these teeth. Can you imagine? I don't know. I think I would rather be eaten by a megalodon than by that. I mean, and these are so super sharp. This is the original enamel. 70 million year old teeth right here. And look at these. I mean, that is so sharp, it could easily puncture you right now. So I thought that And this was just a small handful out of a large bag of them. Look at how big some of these are. There's different shark species. You can actually compare the teeth to information that you can look up and figure out what's what, or it might be fun for a grandchild or child to be able to do, because right now, this many teeth, here's another bag just to show you the value, because they are $12 a bag. $12 a bag. I have a quantity of 4, so maybe right now until we see just one to a client, but I do have a couple more if needed that I can fill. All right, let me tuck those away. I'll be right back. What you're looking at, well, you might look at it and think it might be an oyster. You might step over it. You might hurt your foot on it, because this is Tampa Bay Agotized Coral. If I put with fluorite on there, could you take the fluorite out of that description? Look at this. This is what's on the inside of this beauty. Botryoidal has, and you can see the polish. Look at that. Just like we saw the botryoidal agate earlier. Look at this material. Look at the quality and the clarity of this. So this has been sawed in half and polished. Now, what the cool thing about this is, look at the blue up there, is this is Ballast Point, Tampa Bay. When I was working at the rock shop in Sarasota, Florida, we got in huge burlap bags of this material, and it was so sharp to work with. You can see. So let me show you the difference. Price on this one, $48. Okay, $48. Let me show you one more, because we're doing a comparison. So this is item next is 1070922. All right, I'm going to show you the difference, and this next one is also Tampa Bay. Now here's the thing, the Tampa Bay, I hope you got your Rock and Gem magazine from 2 months ago, had a big article on the agotized corals that I have been showing you over the years. Now, Tampa Bay material, here is another one. This is, they no longer, Ballast Point, you can't even tell they ever even dug there. There's a, like a little ramp into there, and you couldn't even tell. There's nothing left to find. No more digging. Ballast Point material in Tampa Bay is over with, except when you can find items like I have. Okay, look at the jagged edges. Look at the inside of this one, how different it is. It is almost just like a quartz geode. So what you actually have is crystals. These are quartz crystals. 2 nice pockets of them. There is the other side. You can see they have been polished. What an amazing piece. So this has crystals. What a great example to have one of these. That's Tampa Bay. But here's the similarity on the outside, because the inside, look at that, totally different. I love the different colors in this. All right, here, look at the little formations. Look at how rounded some of the pieces look. All right, so this is the last one I gave you the item number on. So if anybody's interested, that's the item number up right now. All right, look at this. You see these little hollowed out areas? This looks more like been weathered. It doesn't much look like coral from the outside, but it has a completely different look than what I'm going to show you next, which is item number, this is in the system, 705517. Withlacoochee, which is and the Swanee River. Withlacoochee is a river that runs between Georgia and Florida, and in ancient times, 30 million years ago or so, that used to be a coral reef. Now it's about 25, 30 feet that the Withlacoochee River has washed and eroded out and gotten down to the layer of what is the agotized coral now, which used to be the coral heads, remember? So with the glaciers receding and coming back and forth, it caused, of course, the water levels to rise and lower. So at one time, Florida was underwater. It came up to actually what's called the fall line in Georgia, which is the ancient edge of the coastal, where the coast was in Georgia. That's why you can still find seashell fossils halfway up in Georgia. And that's where it changes over to the red clay. And that is the ancient shoreline. And it's referred to as the fall line here in the state. So let me show you the difference. Look at this. Okay, now as you look at the outside, you can see, look at this. See the formations as we come in close on this. You can see the classic look to coral, which has a lot of the hexagonaria type formations that you will see in coral, and also it will have the growth of the coral, the lines in the growth in the coral. So you don't get any of those little pitted areas. Look at the inside of this one. This is a beautiful, high quality, polished edges, wonderful chalcedony agate piece, and the price on this one is only $36. Only $36 on this guy. So here is how the difference. This still looks like coral in a lot of ways. You can see those areas there, and you can see the striations in like the bottom right there. See those striations of growth that you see? Okay, let me show you one more that is available. Item number 704817. Okay, let me show you this one. And this also tells you and tells its story. Price on this one is going to be, let's make it only $36 as well. All right, let's look at this. See how it looks like coral still? Look at these growths, just like a coral head would look like. And I've had 14 aquariums, about half of them saltwater, so I had live corals in there, so I know a lot about live coral and agotized coral. See this? You get these coralline type growths, which none of the ballast point. This just looks like a rock that you would find along the beach. But this looks like something when it's like that. Let me show you the inside. Boy, look at that. Look at that. Completely hollow, completely been agotized, and just a stunning piece to find and then to have it hollow. So you can still see a coralline type, look at that, growth. Whereas the ballast point material, here's another piece of it, you just don't get that. You don't get that look. So both of these, same price, $36. Take advantage of them. They'll come with a box a little beat up, but you can see the label there, Agotized Coral with Lacucci, Florida. And that means the pair, that means you get both halves for that price. All right, I think our time is up. We'll be right back with the trivia question.
Okay, this is where I test to see how much you learn during the show. Sometimes we don't get to as many items because we have a little bit of fun, and we go into an informational phase on sometimes a $20 item, and I'll talk 10 minutes about it. But you know, the nice thing the show was always set up was about offering more information, and so many of you, as you have so often stated, have learned so very much. Probably one of the people that's learned the most is Asif. It's an amazing how many presentations has he heard, even if he wasn't trying to absorb the information he would hear. He, over 21 years, you're bound to absorb it whether you want to or not. So, but in his case, he's got an amazing brain that can work in so many different levels and works with so many different people and different personalities. I have no doubt that it can handle it all. I know he's just I'm very fortunate to have him as part of this show. Okay, now, trivia, here we go. I have 3 questions because I wanted to. So let's see how everyone does. Question number 1.
what, and this is fairly simple, okay, even though we haven't really always talked about it, but what is the most common color that calcite will fluoresce in? I've talked to you enough about, and I say that because fluorescence is a secondary tool for determining what something is, often very usefully. The other great thing it is like on the chunky gal ruby specimens, or the pink apatites from Pakistan. They can grow really small, and in between, like in the case of apatite, in between the muscovite mica blades and whatnot, and you may not be able to find them even with magnification. But you take them to the closet, you put them under the black light, and boom, they glow, including rubies. You know, you can find them all. I noticed that even white sapphires and pink sapphires, even small ones from the chunky gal area, don't even have to exhibit a red, but they will still glow and fluoresce. So any corundum in them, I can find it and locate it. So it's a wonderful tool. So my question is, what color is the most common color that calcite will fluoresce in? And I say that because I use the fluorescence all the time to tell the difference between, you know, dolomite and calcite, between barite and calcite, between quartz and calcite. So just so many uses when you learn how to use it for a not a determining tool, but as a secondary or a confirmation tool, or a tool to use to be able to count out items that aren't what they should be. So now, not all calcites will fluoresce, but when they do, that's the color I want to hear from you. Question number 2. Name the 3, now here might be a little bit hard, but this is what made me come up with the third question. So, just go from your memory the best you can, because we didn't talk too much about it, but we talked about that Axonite is a group name, because Axonite forms same formula, because it's basically a calcium borosilicate, except it's a calcium and one other metal. There's 3 metals that it will form with. And actually, there's 4, but we won't get into the 4th one. But that has to be a certain percentage of another metal. But anyway, there's 3 different ones that I mentioned that really have different properties of their own, and they some of them will actually not allow purple to be present in the Axonite and those kind of things. So they have an effect on the pleichromalism depending on which other Axonite it is. So there's 3 different metals. Name the 3 metals that we discussed. You don't have to name the complicated name with the metal. Just name what metals that name was referring to, what metal. So, 3rd question. And of course, since we had that amazing Axonite, there had to be a couple questions at least about it. The 3rd one is, what was Axonite given its name for? Or why was, however way you want to phrase it, why was Axonite called Axonite? what was Axonite named for and why, that kind of thing. So, yeah. So what was the origin of Axonite's name? How's that? All right. Good luck with those. I think you'll do well. And let me know, Miss Elisa, if, well, I'll find out from Kevin if you don't want that, and I'll let everyone know next week if you don't, or if you did, let me know, absolutely, because I know that if you do want it, boom, you get it, it'll be shipped out, and you'll have it probably before our next time I pull the comments up. So we'll see if you get that in time. And I certainly was really pleased with the way the stone came out. And if you want it, hope you enjoy it as well. All right, let me know. I had other items I didn't get to, but hey, there's always next week, and we are on a roll. How many weeks has it been now? Just keep up the good wishes and positive thoughts, and now stay healthy, and hopefully Raven will get really back on her feet, up and running. She hasn't gone back to driving yet, but we'll get her driving and whatnot. So, all right, all of you, thank you again for all of your support. I can't say it enough. God bless all of you. Take care, and I will see you next week.